Hey everybody, welcome in. And today I'm just gonna have a quick little catch up chat on how to get the most out of your gems, or what kind of investment you should be doing into this Incredibles event. As a lot of people, there's been a lot of talk about this, either people wailing hard, free to play struggling. So I'm just going to talk over what your best options are, no matter who or what you what your intentions are. So number one, I'm gonna state that so far this is the most expensive event we have seen. Um, they have the prices are high, the rewards seem to be lowered, and the characters seem. I touched on this in a few of my other videos on my first looks and a few other things. As a whole, they seem to work together amazingly and have a lot of opportunities. Mr. and Mrs. Incredible both seem to only be really good as a whole part of the family team. The three kids seem like they will be able to be usable in other teams. Dash is the standout. Now, the problem with that is Dash is locked behind everything else, as normally one of the best characters are, and Jack Jack is even more so. But Dash seems to be a whole ton better than Jack Jack. Now, Dash, because he's got speed and damage intense, Jack Jack's got a little bit of everything, but he's a little bit unreliable. Now, let's get into your expenditure. So, in these events, in my gem spending, how to best spend your gem videos, I kind of recommend spending on refreshes. Now, for this event, I don't. Because of what I said about them offering less and less and getting less rewards, it's not as worth it going for the 150 gem refresh. Usually the gem refresh is decent for the first refresh. This time I would not recommend it. If you're on the lower levels, you've only got a chance between 1 and 2 tokens. And majority of the time, from low levels even onto high levels, the chance you're going to get 1 token is super high. It's like I'd say it's like up around the 70% to 70 to 80 to 90%, and then the X amount of tokens after it, kind of like what we see in the packs, and that's for all the characters. So that is a bit of a shock to the system, a bit of a shame. Um, and with that, also the chests seem to have a bit of a nerf. Now, this is different because there are 4 new characters being added to the game, and chances to get Elastic Guild as well. So there's potential 5 characters around for it. But the problem there being is on, say, the Onwards event chests, you could buy the chests and you had a chance of getting 1 to 5 or more, 1 to 5 or so of the basic Onwards characters, with 1 to 10 of the event the chest exclusive character being Manticore. In this one, if we go into the odds for for Dash, they've added a whole lot more odds in, and they seem to be a whole lot lower. More higher percentages get not that much, although I could be wrong, but 70, 70, 50, 70% chance you're going to be getting 4, 3, and 2. And that's going to be the majority of the pools, and then a little bit of extra chances to get the 8s and 6s, which is kind of nice, which is in like a nice nearly 20% chance when you add that up with a few of the other ones to get the higher amounts. Now, I like that they do have the chances up to 10. That's nice, even though they are low. Now, Jack Jack, on the other hand, is 50% chance. So you can see there, 50% chance to even pull him, And then after that 50% chance, if you do get lucky enough to pull them, then you're relying on the rates. And that's similar to Dash. So 70% chance you'll only be getting 4, 3, and 2. Now that is super low, considered you're already locked behind a 50% chance. And then you can also see there that you've got only a chance to get 1 to 2 of the other characters. And that is like majority, 95% of the chance you're only going to get 1 token. Whereas the other Onwards event, we had, I'd say probably more like 60, and then going upwards from, or 50, 20, whatever else it might have been, 50, 25, to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 3, 4, 3, 2, 4, whatever the odds were, but it was a lot easier to get higher tokens. That means it was easier to get the chests and progress through the event. Whereas now, even if you're getting the chests, you're still struggling with your event progress to get enough tokens from the chest as well as the event. You're pulling one majority of the time, and yet to unlock her you need to get like 25, and then to get to the next stage you get 30. That's a whole lot of attempts at the event or the chests to even pull her. That is just progression wise, that's nuts. You've got to invest quite a lot to do that, and the best way to invest, since it's not really worth doing the event refreshes this time because of the such low amounts, the better idea is actually going for the gem packs. Now I've calculated out that you can have, say, about 4 or 5 event refreshes, so that's each day doing the 150s, and you're probably going to get the same amount-ish as the lowest possible from the gem pack at, say, if you're spending 750 gems on the daily refreshes, 150 daily refreshes for a few days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, then you're probably just better off buying one of these packs. And that normally the basic refreshes are the most value, and then you'll probably do some of these, but this way it's just not. So I'd rather come to one of these, and you've got the same options for either of the characters. You've got 50% chance to get 9, 40 to get 10, so majority of the time you only get 9 and 10. And that right there was also why, like, the odds for these are super low. They don't give you much. Like, normally this will be like the other odds in the other chest pack, that you might have 50% chance for the lowest, and then maybe another 20% chance for maybe slightly higher, and then gives you like 20% or 20% plus 20-25% to get some decent pulls, like up in the 20s and 30s, and then like super minimal chances for getting the extremely highs. But in this one, they're all like 1 and less than 1% chances to get anything good, and even 2% chances to get 12 or 15. So the tokens are super limited. So I would recommend, anytime you're purchasing anything, expect the minimum and make your purchases based on that. Now I'm going to do some pack openings at some stage, so I'll make a video on that when I do, and my chest openings as well. I'm just going to save those up and do a little video for you so you can see what I'm pulling, see what my recommendations are. I am probably going to have to buy a pack so I can progress, and I'll go that way. Now there are also paid money packs. So when I say packs, I mean gem packs, but there are like monetary packs that people buy and have bought. So for me it's $90, which I think is about 60 or 70 US, to even just unlock the basic characters, and then a few little throw-ins like some gems and 10 dash tokens and whatnot. Now the dash one, similar price, just for his straight unlock plus 500 gems, is the same price. Now you also get the 50 Incredibles tokens from this, 50k Incredibles tokens, as well as gems and other extra bonuses, but those are the only 2 things you really care about if you're getting this pack. is his unlock, the 80 tokens, or progress if you already unlocked them, his progression to the next stage, as well as the 50, because then you can get even more of him, and then you're going to be looking at getting, so 50 is 5 pulls at this, so you're going to be looking at getting, say, I'd say the value of round about probably between about 12 to 20 bonus tokens. So you'll be looking at 80 to around about 100, 90 to 100 tokens, if not a few more. If you get lucky and actually get some 6s and 7s or whatever else you might get a bit over 100 tokens for that paid pack. And then whatever other bonuses of like 1 or 2 tokens of the family, which is not much. Maybe some Jack-Jacks if you're lucky. But as far as that goes, it's just super expensive and hard to progress. Now, I've had feedback from a lot of you. I've seen a lot of other feedback on the Discord, is that some people are a bit upset that the price hikes have been going up, or shall we put it that the rewards have been going down for the values. And we've seen that since the onward. I think they were pretty decent and generous, good amounts for the rewards. They weren't too generous. They weren't like super easy to get everything, but it was nice for the effort. I personally think the balance was okay. Then it came into the Lion King event, and I believe they took it down just a little notch. And then came the Toy Story, and that's when we first saw, I think from the Lion King, it was like 1 and 3 for like what we see there in the Toy Story for the other standard characters. And then for the Toy Story, we saw it go down to 1 to 2. And now that is also carried over to this Incredibles one. But if we also look at the rates on the card options, they are 70, 30, 1 and 2, and all of that. And then Jessie's a little bit less because she's a little bit more exclusive. But it just seems the rates is slowly getting lower and lower and lower to get these extra tokens just for progression wise. So that feels bad for anybody playing, whether you're paying or not paying, is that when you're playing the game, you're not progressing anything. And yes, sure, people will pay to progress, but people don't want to feel that that is the only way to get through an event. Even if they are spending because they want the characters, they don't want to feel like they have to get anywhere. They want to be able to spend to get what they want and then progress still by playing. And that's just a little bit cut short. Now, the pretty much only progress you will get by playing is investing a little bit yourself into some of these gem packs to get through the event, to unlock, get some tokens to get Dash, hopefully get Dash. And that will be the best investment that I would recommend. But you do have to save up for it. Or if you are short on gems, you haven't saved up for anything, I would recommend don't go all in on this event. Let it pass by, do your basic, and save your gems for investing into what may come next. Even though Dash is going to be one of the best characters in the game, he's going to be no good to you if you cannot level him up and get more stars and everything else like that. So that is one dilemma with a lot of these types of events, and especially ones that the prices are going up. It's very expensive. We did see this in the beta with the first introductions of the Scar event. Scar was super hard to get. It was a struggle to get any of his tokens. And the very first one, it was actually quite rewarding because the game mode was super hard and difficult. It was like they just set the difficulty at max, and it was hard. I do have a video on that if anyone wants to go and see it. But that was before the game changed. When the next time the Lion King came around back just before global launch, they introduced they changed the key functions from how the super hard event was to then make it easier, but it was very RNG reliant, and it was terrible. No matter how much you spent or no matter how much you played, it was so RNG reliant, and it was just super low drops for keys to progress. And people weren't happy with that. And then we moved here to the chest function, and this has been a whole lot nicer with getting coins to open chests because it's reliable. But now they're dropping the tokens, so it's interesting. Hopefully, if you all, the best way to go forward, I would recommend, is to make sure your feedback is heard. Let me know. Go to the official Discord server. Let the devs know. Tag Meathead. Let them know how you guys are finding the events. Just make sure there's some talk about it. And I don't mean to go there and be negative. We don't want that at all. I don't want anyone to encourage anyone to be negative about things, but be honest. And I think be honest in a constructive way, and actually show people how having events like this make you feel in your way you play. I've had some people reach out saying that they've spent a lot and they're not actually happy with, feel like they've spent a lot but they still can't get anywhere. I've heard people say that they can't spend anything at the moment and they can't even get anywhere in the event, and I mean like nowhere, and that's discouraging. And there's some people who spend a little bit and they feel like they spent a little bit and they still can't get, like, everyone feels that they can't get anywhere no matter what they've put into this, and except for the people that have dropped extreme amount of money into this, buying as much packs as they can just to max characters. But even saying that, they are like, wow, I have had to spend far too much to do this. So that's a bit of a shame. Hopefully, give some feedback. Let the devs know how you're all feeling about this. And I personally would like to see things go back a little bit more like how they were when the Glade game first released. I think there was a lot more balance. It wasn't too generous. Although I'm going to say two things. A, there has been a lot of people spending a lot of money and being able to max characters straight away. And the way that these events are happening is that they are scheduled and they will be coming back at a certain stage, so you can progress a little bit, then progress a little bit more. And so the devs just seem to show that they don't want people coming in and maxing everything straight away, unless people want to spend everything and then do that. But in saying that, there still needs to be progression, and people need to feel like they can progress a little bit. So there just needs to be a little bit more balance, I feel, with the events. Is that, yes, I understand that they can't give everybody everything for free, and not everybody should just be able to walk through an event and get everything. They do need to make it difficult, and I do like what they have done with the final tier stages, leaving like a super max tier, so that if someone does get to the max level, they can have extra bonuses. That is nice. But I also think that the rewards are low progression wise. Yes, they've got things in there for max tier, but to progress as a whole is difficult for everybody, and that is less enjoyable. So I think we'll wrap it up. Be kind, be constructive in any kind of feedback you are going to give and do give. And I'll just recommend that if you are going to invest in, go for the gem packs. The gem packs will get you the best value for this event. So go for the gem pack so you can progress whatever kind of progressing you're going to go, and then hopefully get enough to unlock characters. Get lucky, and hopefully that works for you. If you don't have much resources and gems saved up, it would probably be better to save them, honestly, and just give this event a pass and see what comes in the future with other events. And as you've heard, is that events have changed in the past. They have already, the devs have said that everything's open for change. So hopefully they'll change for the better. And feedback can get that to happen. So give some feedback, and don't expect, can I just say it also with your feedback, don't expect to say, don't expect for the devs and everyone to just be giving you everything, because they are a business themselves. They do need to make money, they do need to have support, and also they need to try and create some kind of balance in all that they're doing, for playability, for spenders, for their reoccurring events, because if everyone got maxed everything, their reoccurring events are kind of like meh. So they do want to have some hype around things coming back. So hopefully in the future these will get fixed. But that'd be all for now. I'm starting to ramble, but not all. I'll give you all a few other tips as well. Is that events, when this game first came out, events started out with, once they got the event structured down and started rotating through, they used to be 5 attempts per day, whereas now we're seeing 2 attempts per day. The event refreshes used to cost 100 gems, 200, 300, 400, 500, and then we kept at 500. Whereas now we're seeing 150, 300, and so on so on. The cost of events have gone up a lot, and that might be due to the progression and wanting to keep people excited and waiting for the next events to come around. But I think, even for myself, like, for events that give gear and things like this away, I think it is nice, and I think that kind of offsets some of the not getting as much reward, because that is rewarding to get gear, because gear is a grind. But you still want to feel like you're progressing in the event itself. So I think there just needs to be maybe a little bit more balance there. If the tokens are going to stay low, and low percentages, low drop rates, all that type of thing, I think potentially maybe the event amounts per day need to go up. Say maybe 3 tries per day, and then even for the refresh being 150, at least you're getting an extra refresh that makes it feel a bit more valuable. Getting an extra token every day for everything would make a difference. So I think that might be one way that would be a little bit better. But let me know your guys' opinions on this event, ways that it could be better. I would like to hear them, as well as you going to tell the devs. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. And if anyone wants to see any old event videos, check back on my old videos. I do have plenty of how things used to be, and you can see all sorts of old events, how the changes have come across. So can't wait to hear from you all, and I want to leave it there. Possibly a event to skip for some, or a very big investment. Choose which one of the two you want to do. Or if you are going to do a little investment, I'm trying to do a little investment, but a little, for me to get the 3 stars, it took me 7k gems, and it's probably going to take another couple of k just to progress to get like a 4-star, to head towards a 5-star just for this event. And then I'll be ready for next time around. But that's a lot, especially because one other thing is the incoming gems that we now get in the game are lower than they used to be. In the tournaments, number 1 first place used to be 500, and used to tear down from 500 gems, and now it's kept at 300 and tears down. They've spread the gem amount longer out into the tier, but they've also kept the high end, so if you're actually working hard for it, you're getting less, as well as the free daily claiming gems. They used to be 5 gems per ad you used to watch. And I think that was like a nicer amount, or because I think when it moved down to 3, I was like, do I really want to have watch a 30-second ad for 3 gems when the gem costs for events are going up? Watching 3 ads for 9 gems is kind of like, that 9 gems is going to have to take me 16 days before I get 1 event refresh out of all these ads I'm watching. Or now they've also now added the 2 gem per ad maximum, like you get like 10 of those to get 20 gems. So if you're watching all of those 13 ads, you'll get 29 gems. So I think for the costs to be going up and the amounts that we're getting to be going down, I'm still not that excited about that, shall we say. And I do like that there are ads for other things being put in for things like refreshing your Sorcerer's tournament, cooldowns, and things like that. I think all those little things, people are more than happy to support the game doing those types of things. And it's actually practical. And it's just a way that if people don't want to, they can wait. If they need to, they can watch it, and all sorts of things like that. But yeah, just thought I'd give you guys some knowledge, some letting you all know what things used to be like and how things are changing, and not to be too discouraged, but just because things are changing, sometimes they get better, sometimes they get worse, and they're testing themselves. So the best way to help with the testing is to let them give some feedback, and hopefully the feedback makes it better for next time. So we'll leave it there. We'll actually leave it there this time. So I can't wait to hear from you, and we'll see you guys soon.